Welcome to the Open Data Forum 2019. Catherine, look, such a beautiful one. Good for you. Yes, we don't ban the applause. We even have it written in the regulations. I'd like to greet our foreign guests here.
Welcome to Ukraine, the dreamland and the future of data, right? Future of European data. Тож, друзі, я вітаю вас на...
So, dear friends, I greet you at the third annual forum, which is devoted to the development of open data. The main topic of Open Data Forum 2019, Ukraine on the way to the economy of data, data-driven economy. So, how do we implement the potential of the open data? How do we use AI and form the state policy, which is also data-driven, will help in the development of the transparent and digital economy, and which progress they are achieving already by the Ukrainian cities. We'll speak about that and other points with numerous interesting speakers of our forum. It's incredibly pleasant for us for the third year in a row to see so many people who are interested in the topic of e-governance, and we thank you that for the third year in a row we are gathering together to sum up with the events of the year and to speak about the huge ecosystem of open data in Ukraine. But before we begin the forum, dear friends, I'd like to drive your attention to some points. First of all, please, as for the speakers and moderators, please stick to the timing, because we know maybe we look like Homo sapiens, but I'm sure that you know why 45 minutes is the time for the lesson in the school and an hour and a half the session in the university, because several million years ago we had a tail and we cannot sit for a long time, more than an hour and a half. We prepared it for you, we know that, and we prepared numerous coffee breaks. We'll have lunch break, we'll have the after party, and all of that will be there. But please, it's almost 8 hours, so we really want it for those 8 hours not to be 9 or 10. And we all want to get to the first night of the new movie with Brad Pitt, some science fiction at Astra where he flew to space. So we want to finalize the event in time. Secondly, I'd like to drive your attention to the fact that each of you, at the reverse side of your badge, there is an agenda of the event. So if you've got any questions, who's the next one, what we'll have after that, or maybe you have a thought flying by, oh God, can you finally give me a cup of coffee? God will hear you, but when He sends you the cup of coffee, you will see at the reverse side of the badge, we have all the coffee breaks listed there by time. And the last point, you know that recently, during the last years, the life has changed thanks to data, especially, and everyone who has an account in the social networks knows the main rule of the social networks. If it's not in the social network, it never existed. But it existed and it will be. So, dear friends, please, any of the pictures, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if you post anything there, some of the publications or streams, please use the hashtag. Our hashtag is very simple. I do hope that I don't need to explain what hashtag is, right? So this is the OD Forum hashtag, right? So the main moments are finally decided, and we are beginning our event. I'm gladly giving the floor for the introduction speech, having your applause, the Vice Prime Minister, the Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Mr. Mikhailo Fedorov. Well, you know, I will say every time, Mr. Fedorov, the floor is yours, as it is said mostly. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. For about 9 months ago, when I didn't even think that I'm here and I deal with politics and I'm becoming a minister. I never even thought about that, but I was in Zelensky team and I helped to form the program, and my part was devoted to digitalization. And we Googled a lot what's going on in the country, what stage we are at. And then I got to the website of Open Data Challenge, and maybe this was the only project which really brought me to nice emotions. So I came to my colleagues who were in my office and I said, friends, we've got so many nice projects in Ukraine and not enough people know about that. So now I have an honor to open this Open Data Forum, and the emotions which I felt then, I remember them, and I'm really happy that I'm here today. What I'd like to say now, I got acquainted with the list of the participants, with your projects, and I'd like to say that you are the real talents. That is really cool, because you're moving our country. You're finding nice opportunities to create such projects, to launch the startups. And what I like as an ex-entrepreneurship, you know how to monetize them, and it's really cool. So looking at those projects, I can see only two tasks for our ministry, which we have created recently. First of all, to make this data even more and bigger. I know that I know the decrees which they adopted and according to which they open the data. I know the percentage of execution and performance, and having such a small percentage of performance, we have so many cool projects. So our first aim is to make this decree working and to have open data for 100% what you really want. This is the aim number one. Our second aim, for those events to be known by more people and to have more startups taking part, teams taking part, and to emerge new businesses which are data-driven, open data-driven, because it seems to me that this will be the best way to develop the market with the entrepreneurs and the startups which use it. So my aim, which I pointed for my team, is to make our country to be the third in top three. Maybe not the third, but at least in top three. Maybe the first, maybe the second. In 3 years in the open data sphere in the world. Because for now we have the president's support, the prime minister's support, all of the ministers. Everybody understands the value of the open data, and everybody will help us to make it real. And today, among the participants, I've seen lots of anti-corruption projects. It's really cool, because in spite of a reboot of anything, we still have some of the state officials who are dealing with the corruption affairs, and those projects really help us to get to know about that and to solve the issues. It's cool, and thank you for that. You've heard that the next year is the Year of Digitalization. For me, this year already began this year. But officially, it will begin next year. The Year of Digitalization from Ukraine will digitalize whatever we see. So I'd like to apply and to appeal to all of the future participants. Please join our ministry. We'll definitely create the board about open data, basing upon our ministry. Join TAPAS project, visit our events. We are open for that. So I'd like to thank the TAPAS project. Thanks to you, Ukraine has been noticed at the digital map of the world, because I know that our country is the second on the progress of the opening the data. It's really cool, and it's incredible, in fact. And I'd like to say a couple of words about our ministry, because all of you have lots of questions, lots of people are coming up to me. So I'd like to tell you honestly what is going on and where I can see certain issues, how I'm going to solve them. These are not the strategic questions, those are the managerial questions. You know why we created the ministry: to form and to shape the policy in the digitalization sphere, because not a single authority dealt with that before. Such cool projects like TAPAS developed the concepts, invented the projects, and then searched the support of the ministers who will have a certain degree. Today we have the ministry and we are as open as possible and we'll try to help them to support and to find funding. And also we came close to the creation, to conduct the revolution in the digitalization sphere from the point of view of management. And it seems to me this is an appropriate approach. We didn't only create the shaping policy authority, but also the institute with the deputy ministries which deal with digitalization in each ministry. From the perspective of aims and management, it's really clever because the ministry won't be able to focus on all of the directions, and in this way we'll have a person in each ministry who will help to implement vertically and from top down all of those tasks. So whatever we do or don't do, for instance, we initiated the audit of all the registers. But in each ministry there are certain obstacles, and the task of this deputy is to have fewer of those obstacles. The next point, we have the future deputy of the Kherson state administration. We introduce the positions of the deputies at the region level, who will help us to follow the KPIs of what we implement at the regional level. And today I'm working on the creation of our own team. We created the Committee of the Digitalization and Digital Transformation in Verkhovna Rada, the parliament. This is the first committee with such set of goals, because at the legislative level we also have the support, and this is the cool team of ours. And we have the same aims with them. We try to synchronize as much as possible, and we try to communicate with each other to achieve those goals. So what are the issues I can see? I can see that they ignored your projects for lots of years. Each person who comes up to me says, let's meet. For about 10 or 5 years or a year or a month, I'm going along the corridors and I am suggesting my projects, but nobody hears me. And I don't hear because I've got so many ideas piled up that my brain is exploding. And what I'm doing, I'm appealing to all of you, to each of you, for you to understand what's expecting for you. I'm creating a very powerful team of deputies and the team of departments and directorates in the ministry. Those are not people from the sphere. Those are just cool managers who have implemented the projects from scratch, the projects connected with digitalization. So I put the stake on the cool managers because I understand that relying upon the ministry, we need a powerful team of product managers, and the whole expertise should be at the market. Those should be businesses, NGOs, projects, because if we bureaucratize ourselves and do everything in the ministry, we won't achieve anything. So up to the 1st of October, we have the task officially to introduce the positions of the deputies. I will have a powerful team of deputies who will create a powerful teams of departments. Those are really cool managers, and only after that we'll begin to work with you on the projects which you've got here. Because what I used to see before, just the manual management, when the minister or any active person in the ministry was just visiting the events and communicating and promising something, but in the end of the day there is nothing working. So now I'm at the stage when I try to form a very powerful deputies team. Then, according to the functions and aims which you could see in the media, and on the 27th of September we'll publicly present our ministry, and the deputies will have the online broadcast live, and you will be able to see the winners of the today who will be invited to the offline presentation. It will be in the smaller format because we are emphasizing on the online option. So they will create the teams of the departments, and then, basing upon our aims, we will communicate with you one by one and implement your projects into this coordinates system. Because I'd like to make this funnel upside down, because lots of projects are coming and we are thinking where we can implement it. There is one more project and we planned a different one and the architecture doesn't suit. So I'd like to make this funnel upside down. because we need to take the obligation and to be bold enough. I'd like to show, guys, these are our aims. We have 4 precise aims, precise KPIs for the 3 years, for that year, for the next year, and they are operationalizing, and we need to implement these and those projects. So please try to find the project which you can implement. You've got the expertise within our vision, and we will go along this way. It seems to me it's a very appropriate way. Then each of you will understand that the state has such a goal to achieve this and that, to construct this and that, and we need to implement these and those projects. I can adjust my project for that. I can create a new project for that, and we will all together will be synchronized as much as possible. There won't be a single project where you're just wasting donors' money or wasting your time and nobody hears about that in the end of the day. So time will show whether this approach is really appropriate. It seems for me to be appropriate. I know that you've got lots of ideas. Please give me several weeks to create the management and to hear every project, and if it's really cool and it helps to achieve the aims, the goals, and it's included into this coordinate system, it will work. Because I don't have an opportunity to read all of the messages, to answer each of them, to visit every event. Honestly speaking, I'm not planning for a year to travel much between the events, to open the events, to close the events, to have some speeches. I'd like to show the result, and then with this result I will deal with information tourism and tell how cool we are. So I really would like to visit all the forums you're inviting me to, but honestly I even refused of 95% of all of the trips abroad to the national forums, world forums where Barack Obama is opening the forum, when Jack Ma will be there, and so on. Because for now we've got lots of issues in the country which we need to solve to deal with the next level of issues. At least we need to make the registers in order, because not a single project will be implemented if we have 350 registers and we don't know who has access to them. So we will say lots of precise things on the 27th, some of the precise aims, and this will be the first presentation in the history of Ukraine when everybody understands what we are doing. And today I wish you to listen as much as possible, whatever you are told. Be prepared that we will be in top 3 in the world in several years, and I do hope for your support in our direction of development, that we will become friends and implement all of the invented projects. Thank you for the invitation. I thank to Tapas project for what you're doing. This is the cool level. I thank the media that you are supporting and telling about what we're doing, and I thank everyone who is implementing the projects in our country for us to have a cool situation around. Thank you so much. Okay, friends, a round of applause. That was Mikhailo Fedorov. I don't know whether it's cool when the forum is opened by Barack Obama, but still, when the forum is opened by Mikhailo Fedorov, it is just incredible, dear friends. Rather ambitious plans, as you've heard. To be in top 3, well, I don't know. What do we have to do to have this breakthrough? Because now Ukraine takes approximately the 63rd position, right? No? No, right? The 17th. Oh, the 17th already. Okay. Well, whatever. That was a mistake of mine. Okay. So, dear friends, I think you understand that this forum wouldn't be impossible without the financial support of the governments of 2 states. With no surprises, because those are the United States and the United Kingdom, and they are the donors of the transparency and accountability in the state administration and services project. So I'd like to give the floor at this stage the ambassador of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland to Ukraine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for ambassador of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland in Ukraine. Make some noise for Melinda Simmons. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Szanowni Panie,
Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, thank you. The governments of Her Majesty support the third annual Forum of Open Data as witnesses of our wish to support the positive changes in Ukraine. And now a bit in English.
Over the past few years, with the support of international donors, Ukraine has been working systematically to improve transparency and accountability and to fight corruption. Open data is a really important tool in this reform journey. By opening up government activity in a quantifiable way, it can help improve the way state and society interact and improve the effectiveness of government, thereby helping build much-needed trust. It can also contribute to economic growth by laying the foundations for new business models and software products that are built on open data. The power of open data is already being realized. For instance, over the last few months, 2 analytical modules were launched with TAPAS support, the Inspections Portal dashboards and Transparent Infrastructure. Using open data, these analytical tools bring greater transparency to 2 critical areas that have a profound effect on Ukrainian entrepreneurs and to citizens. One of those dashboards was developed by the winners of last year's Open Data Challenge, the open data startup competition that TAPAS has run over the past 3 years. And that is a tangible example of how open data can bring government and society together in the fight against corruption. And it's also testament to the creative and the entrepreneurial spirit of Ukrainians. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the winners of this year's challenge, and I congratulate all of the participants on their innovative ideas. Дякую.
Thank you for their invitation here today.
I wish to all of you a very good and productive day. Thank you. So friends, please, once again, the round of applause.
Thank you for your motivational speech. It was great. And our next speaker, наш наступний гість.
Our next guest is going to be Christine Quinn, the deputy head of the mission of the United States of Ukraine, of America to Ukraine.
Mrs. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mrs. Christina Quinn.
Доброго дня.
Добрий день.
I'm afraid I don't even have as much Ukrainian as the ambassador from Great Britain, but I hope I can still share my thoughts with you in English. Thank you for the opportunity to join you today. It's really wonderful to be here among so many young and innovative people, although it does make me feel a little old and old-fashioned. So I'm very happy to be here, especially with such a young and dynamic minister who I think has a lot of great ideas taking Ukraine forward. The US government is proud to support Ukraine in implementation of fundamental open data reforms because we all share a common goal: transparent and efficient government. Access to information is critical in a democratic society. It allows journalists and civil activists to do their jobs. It allows businesses to make informed decisions, and it allows citizens to exercise their rights. We're pleased to see that Ukraine has been making progress to provide its people more access to government information. And we're proud to support Ukraine in these efforts through our program with the US AID. Starting in 2016, U.S. Agency for International Development partnered with the government of Ukraine to develop an open data roadmap to identify data sets that could be open to the public. Later, regulations were passed to require government institutions to make those previously closed data sets open. This access to information makes a difference. For example, on the quality of water in Ukraine's rivers and lakes, data has been collected for decades by the government, but hadn't been previously accessible to the public. Today, as a result of our collaboration with the government of Ukraine, this data is online, and citizens and environmental groups can access it to make better informed decisions about water quality. Meanwhile, opening data paved the way for the expansion of e-services, which are now a driver to help prevent corruption, as we heard from the minister recently. Ukraine has received well-deserved recognition for its success in open data efforts, and according to a recent international study, Ukraine has the most developed open data ecosystem in Eastern Europe. That's important. It takes a big team to achieve these great results, strong Ukrainian government leadership and support, a robust civil society, private sector involvement, regional networks, and international partners. I hope you all take advantage of today's forum and the opportunity it presents to push your agenda forward. By identifying additional ways to open data to the public, you and Ukraine as a whole will promote accountability, an efficient government, and a thriving democracy. Thank you very much. Дякую.